Hello, my friends. How are we today? Welcome to, Thursday. I feel like all of the days have all been messed up and joined up all into one. It's been so weird and crazy. Now, just give me 2 seconds. All right, I'm just gonna see if I can do all of the sharing from here. Let's test my technical skills today, which is really kind of funny because the topic of today is all about taking for granted the things that we know. And I want to share with you a story of a client that I just had the most insane conversation with, who is literally getting, I think, like 10 times industry standard results, 100 times industry standard results. I don't know, it's ridiculous. But I think what we tend to do is we tend to take for granted all of the things that we know, and we just kind of assume that it's really normal. It does feel like a Monday, Catherine. I agree with you. It's weird. It's so weird. Now, I do also, hey Linda, I need to let you know that we have got the Queen of Contentology happening starting on Monday. I've got the link in the comments in there. It is so much fun. It is so transformational, and the results will blow your minds. So this kind of talks into a little bit of the things that we, again, like that we kind of can take for granted, right? So I shared with you guys last week, I can't remember, I know that Joe and I'm sans Joe today. It's very sad. We were, hey Rebecca, how are you? I was with Joe last week, which was really awesome. And I can't remember if we'd already done Koshi's stuff or not. So I filmed for Koshi's, a course that they're creating, which is cool. But I think one of the things that actually came up from one of the producers, she's like, so like we need this to be like really kind of grassroots type stuff. And I'm like, okay, so shall I talk about this? And she's like, have we got something that we can make a bit more simple? And I've gone, oh, okay, cool, no worries. So, you know, it's really interesting. We assume a whole lot of, there's a whole lot of assumed knowledge of our audience, right? Now, I know that I can kind of get caught up in this a little bit. Hey, Andrea, where I'm like, you know, I've been talking about this stuff for the last 10 or 11 years. And, you know, I've been doing all of the things, and I've been talking about marketing till the freaking cows come home. I've talked about how to pull stuff out of your head. I talk about telling stories. I talk about how to come up with content, talk about all of this stuff. And, you know, oh, thank you, Rebecca. You're very kind. And, you know, I forget that sometimes that there are new people that kind of come through that haven't heard all of that stuff before. So we can take a lot of our knowledge for granted. So just a bit of a note and a bit of an insight, I guess, is for you, it's really important that you're kind of talking into some advanced perhaps topics in your content that you're talking about, as well as some of the not so advanced stuff as well, right? So kind of really dancing between those two things. So the fundamentals of marketing before you start putting up posts, before you start doing lives, before you start going, what fucking platform am I going to be on? It's always to come back to, well, you know, who am I? What makes me really confident? How am I going to talk about this stuff? What am I going to talk about? What's my unique kind of point of difference? And how do you bolster the confidence for you to show up as yourself in the way that you are? You know, I could, you know, it's so interesting because there is like today I'm like at the point my hairdresser. Can we just talk about hairdressers for a second? I love hairdressers. I love great hairdressers, but my hairdresser is no longer hairdressing me. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this hair? It hasn't been working for me for the last week. I'm like, oh my God, Nicola, you know, it's like we're talking about confidence, right? I could let that kind of go or let that eat me up and go, oh, well, you know, I'm not looking kind of as polished or, you know, how I would like to be, but is it more important for me to show up? Or is it more important for me to, you know, to be concerned about that? Well, I'm here and I've got crazy hair going on. So we know the choice that I made. So if you're thinking about that, like that's the first thing. It's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to find confidence in yourself to show up and do the things that you need to do? And that's a real mindset thing. You know, I know every business coach, every marketing coach worth their salt will, 99% of the work that we do, or that's not true, 98% of the work that we do is mindset, right? The other 2% are tied in with accountability and strategy and things like that. But a lot of the work that we do is around mindset work. And this ties into what we're talking about today, which is about what we kind of take for granted. So chatting with a client today, and we were talking about the leads that she's got running at the moment. So she put together this ad campaign where we pulled out her through Visible Live last year. We did a whole marketing plan for her, worked out exactly what her point of difference is. So freaking powerful. I tell you, like, the stuff that this woman does is insane. And she's like, oh, I think I'm getting like each email's costing me maybe like 11 cents. Like, wait, what? 11 cents? I said, how much are you spending each day? She said, oh, well, I'm getting about, I don't know, maybe like 30 new people a day, 30, 40 people a day. I'm like, okay. And I said, how much are you spending? She said, oh, $5. But I just don't know if it's doing what it should be doing. And I've gone like, oh my God, dude, I would give my right arm to have my leads converting at that cost per lead and at that volume. Like that is freaking awesome, right? Industry standard for a free thing in across most industries, you're looking at anywhere spending between, $2 and $3 per email lead, right? To fill up into your email database. So if you'd be able to get things for $5, get 30 emails a day requesting your free thing, it is freaking awesome. Yeah, she's super niche, it's super specific, but it's just like, I guess like until you kind of realize what you've got, yeah, right, come in, I'm like, right, I'm gone. Give me the leads. That'd be freaking awesome. Hey Chris, how are you? So I think the other thing that's really curious is that we also chatting, like as I was chatting with another client last week, is the other things that we can take for granted are our own stories and our own slant on things. And one of the biggest overlooked thing across everything that I see in the land of social media, in the land of marketing, in the land of Facebook, in the land of everything that people are doing is people, you guys really sharing yourselves, right? Which I know is really vulnerable, right? I know it's a big thing, but so many times, like I was chatting with my OBM yesterday, and we were talking about, been kind of thinking, a bit stuck with what to talk about with this particular thing. And I said, well, that's exactly what we talk about. How often because we were talking about contentology, and shameless plug, links in the comments. We were chatting about contentology, and how often do you sit there going, all right, what the fuck am I going to talk about today? What am I going to share today? What insight, what fabulous, anecdote or story or whatever am I going to share? What pearl of wisdom? And there are times where it's appropriate to be sharing business content and advice and all of that kind of thing. But it's also really important to talk about the fact that, in my amazing queen, nearly a year ago since our last live in-concert event, my husband and I, this needs to be bottomless today. I need somebody filling up my coffee endlessly. If you were to go and post about that, that would create a whole bunch of people going, oh my gosh, I agree with you. What is it? Catherine talked about as soon as the first comment in here today was it feels like a Monday, which I agree. So, the things that are going on in our world, whether you're looking at, going for a morning walk, taking a photo of that, sharing what you're eating. And I know it sounds ridiculous that any of that would have any influence over your audience, but it does, right? So this client last week, who is a psychologist, and one of the things that she said that she's noticed, and she's been pretty proactive actually in sharing her feedback on using Contentology. She's had more referrals. She's had to hire new staff. She's had more people say to her about how amazing it's been getting to know her, and they feel like they can really trust her, like right from the get-go. So I think it's really important, and this is the most overlooked thing. It's really important to share things about yourself, right? About what's going on, about perhaps how you're feeling and that kind of thing, and using that as inspiration to connect. Not with the slant of necessarily trying to sell something in those posts, right? For the most part, they shouldn't be about selling or trying to convert. It should be about helping your audience to get to know you, right? The real you with whatever it is that's going on. So what I know is this: most of you underestimate how freaking hilarious you are. You underestimate your knowledge. You underestimate the power of your stories. You underestimate how important it is for your audience to hear the stories that you share about the things that you've had to work through, you know, the adversities that you've overcome, the things that you're changing, the way that you're eating, you know, whatever it happens to be, whatever your challenges are. I can guarantee you that the more you share your heart, your soul, the things that are going on for you in a positive way, the more your audience are going to get to know you and connect with you. And it's just really freaking important. So that is what I really wanted to share with you today. It's a bit like, you know, I saw a post yesterday that said, you know, I didn't realize what I had when I was 21. You know, I was just worrying about all the things that I didn't have. And then now that this person was 50, they were looking back going, wow, you know, if I just realized, you know, how awesome I was, then, you know, maybe like, you know, things could have been a bit different. I think we've all got, I really took some inspiration from that, going, you know what? Yeah, we've really got to get better at having the courage and the confidence to share ourselves as the way that we are, rather than as people who are still, you know, kind of getting better over time. So share how you are. It's so important. On that note, my friends, I am going to love you and leave you. Contentology, Queen of Contentology Challenge starts on Monday, where you could win a crown and $1,000. Thanks for coming. Hey, Gerda, how are you? Happy Thursday. You could win a crown, win $1,000. It's really amazing. And, you know, the best thing of all is that you get to really connect with all of your people. If you're looking for some kick-ass accountability, we also have the Implement Like a Boss Challenge starting on Monday as well, for 4 weeks. Every day, you, me, and a kick-ass group of fabulous people are going to be catching up at 6 a.m. for half an hour to just absolutely nail what it is that you're working on, how it is that you're going to do it, and kicking your ass and building up that momentum and the motivation. So you'll have to find that on my website, because I don't have the link handy for that, because we're talking about Contentology. So on that note, my friends, have a beautiful, awesome, and amazing day. Get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it, and remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesome. All right, see you, love you, bye.